Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Chicago Bulls Breeze. Chicago Bulls start the season off with a dub, 116-112 versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, of course, this is preseason, so you take everything with a grain of salt, but seeing the Chicago Bulls team be able to go out there and get the job done early on was a little bit fun, I must say, especially as it got down to the end. But you got to talk about what actually happened on the court. The excitement of basketball being back very much gets outweighed by the fact that you kind of got to pay attention to what this team is heading into the season. And that is just a young team that is going to spend some time trying to figure out its identity. Now, the one thing that you can take from today, Matas Buzelis absolutely feels like the right kind of guy that you want on this team. I thought he looked good. I thought he came outside and he balled out. I thought he was consistently putting himself in a position to try and get an open shot from three. I thought that he was very strong driving to the bucket, played the passing lanes a ton. I thought if you were going to have a start from a rookie, that's the kind of start you want to see. I mean, listen, when you talk about this young man coming out first game, ends up finishing out with 12 points. He ends up with 3 assists on the day and 4 rebounds. I'm or 5 rebounds. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at that start to this young man's career because that's the things that we are asking of a rookie, a guy off of the bench, a guy who's going to be coming in some short spurt minutes, maybe with some interesting lineups, especially what we saw today, right? Billy Donovan wanted to play some of those shorter, quicker lineups. I think that's the thing that you're asking him to do. Go out there and make an impact in a lineup like that. And he was able to. Only took 1 3 on the day today, but I'm sorry, 2 threes on the day today. Didn't knock down either one of those. Got to work on that 3-point efficiency. That's the one thing from him that has always been the biggest question. Can he shoot that 3 ball consistently? But at the end of the day, the fact that you've got a young man who is able to go out there first action, of course, preseason action, but able to go out there first action with confidence the way that Matas has, that's something that you can find a way to utilize heading into this season. Let me know how you guys felt about the start of Matas Buzelis' career with the Chicago Bulls here in preseason. Are you encouraged by what you saw out of this young man? I'll tell you this, if you're Patrick Williams right now, you feeling a little bit nervous? You feeling like, hey, maybe I gotta, up the ante on this one. Now, not to say first preseason game, but you see the energy this young man is coming out with. You see how he's consistently trying to find himself an open spot. You see how he's consistently trying to get himself open on the floor. Those are things that we don't always see out of P. Will. P. Will today was somebody who I can say it, I was underwhelmed with today. I know it's preseason. He's going through the motions, just like Zach LaVine's going through the motions, fresh off of injury. But you did hope that he would come out with a little bit more fire, with him having more opportunities today. Just didn't see that. Now, first preseason game, I'm not overreacting. I'm not sitting here telling you that, oh my God, the sky is falling. Patrick Williams didn't do it in his first game. But I would have thought first action back on the floor, right? First opportunity post-injury to get yourself back out there. Heck, even Zach LaVine showed me a little bit of energy today. Who didn't shoot the basketball efficiently, but showed me some energy, showed me an ability to find himself an open spot on that three-point line. They found him 4 times. He was only able to knock down 1. That will come with time. Just didn't see that really out of P. Will a lot to me. It didn't see, a lot of what we hoped to see. Only 3 rebounds on the day. And again, only played the first half. But if you break that down into 2 halves there, 26 minutes, played 13 minutes a day, you're talking about a guy who's probably getting you 6 rebounds. Need more out of you, especially if you're going to be playing that 4 position, as much as I probably expect him to play this season. But yeah, just didn't see a lot of different from Patrick Williams, and I had hoped to see that coming into this first preseason game. A lot of time left, like I said, a lot of time left in the preseason. Of course, there's time in the regular season, but this is the time where you want to establish yourself in the pecking order. And dare I say, we saw Coby White do that. I mean, listen, came out absolutely firing the basketball, 7 for 15 on the day, 21 points, had 3 assists, had 3 rebounds. Defensively, this team is going to be a problem. But as far as on the offensive side, right, I felt like Coby White was establishing himself. I felt like Coby White was going out there and saying, hey, you know what? This is still my team. Welcome back, Zach. Glad to have you here. But I want you to know something. I'm the one that's taking these shots. Your time is now to be the assistant. Your time is to be the number two now. I'm the guy that's going to go out here and be the scorer for this team. I'm the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands more times than not. I like that energy out of Coby White. I do. Excuse me, maybe it's just me personally, but I thought that even in a preseason game, yes, it's the first preseason game of the year, he was taking it seriously. He was setting a tone. You saw him play 24 minutes in this game. Zach LaVine and Patrick Williams. Zach LaVine played about 18. P. Will only played about 13. Little minutes restriction for P. Will in this one. But just in my time on the court, guess what? I'm going to show you who I am and what I have become. And I love that out of Coby White. I think that is something that we haven't seen somebody do outside of DeMar DeRozan on this team. So good to see that level of energy established here early on. I hope that keeps up. Something else that was a big takeaway for me in this game, the Bulls, of course, coming out with a solid win. There's not going to be a lot of defense on this team. I mean, they are going to have dare I say, some defensive struggles. Oh my goodness. It is not going to be all sunshine and roses with this Chicago Bulls team defensively. I know only giving up 112 points today, but you didn't have to see Donovan Mitchell. You didn't have to see John Garland or Darius Garland. John Garland. I went back to the White Sox on that. You didn't have to see Darius Garland in the second half of this game. Those are things that make a difference, right? You don't have to see the main guys a ton. It's going to be a little bit easier for you. Down low, oh my God. I mean, listen, Evan Mobley was absolutely just getting whatever he wanted over Nikola Vucevic. It didn't matter who was down there. Defensively down low, this team is going to have some issues. I think that there's going to have to be something addressed down there sooner than later. But you never know with this Bulls team, right? Coming back in, they basically said, we're going with the young guys, but also run it back with Vucci and Zach LaVine. I think a fix for that could be putting Vucci on the bench, getting some good minutes out of him, throwing Jalen Smith out there. We can't act like Billy Donovan doesn't want to play that small ball run and gun kind of lineup. Jalen Smith has enough size for you to play the five. He's not going to be a guy that's going to body up on Jokic or anything like that. But you know that you've got that guy out there that can run the floor, isn't going to, if he has to be a trailer, can knock down that three ball a little bit more efficiently than Vooch. That was something else we saw today that was just, I can do without. But with Vooch in the starting lineup right now, which I expect Vooch to be in the starting lineup for the foreseeable future, you're going to have some struggles down there defensively. The one spot that I did feel a little bit better about defensively was that first guy off of the bench. That was Ayo Dosunmu. And listen, he is a vocal leader for this team. He is somebody who does not change. I think that he is poised to take over that Alex Caruso role. Now, I don't know if Ayo is nearly as good of a defender as Alex Caruso was, but in his first year in the NBA, it did feel that way, right? The second year had a little bit of a slump. Third year, you saw that defensive prowess start to come back with AC standing next to him. I think that there is a little bit of something to be said about what you could get out of him and Lonzo Ball if you expect those two to play together. I think that, that is as far as a guy that that you can count on. Ayo Dosunmu does feel like that here this season, coming off the bench. He's going to be able to score. He's improved the shooting stroke tremendously. He did that very well last season. Today, 2 for 4 from three, 50% from the field. He was 4 for 9 from the field overall. End up coming away with 10 points, had 1 assist, 1 rebound. I think that that's kind of what you're going to see out of Ayo right now in the role that he is in. And you're going to rely on him heavily defensively. As far as defense goes, it is not pretty. So you're going to need all of the best defenders that you can get out there to be those kinds of guys. One bright point, of course, later on in the game, right, got more time in the second half than he did in the first half, and certainly got more shots in the second half than he did in the first half. All his shots coming in the second half of this game. But a bright spot for me was Julian Phillips in this game. Another young man that we want to see really take a step. Somebody who we've talked about for a couple of years now. He knocked down the 3 ball, 1 for 3. He ended up coming away with 11 points defensively. I think that he's somebody that absolutely can give you something a little bit more. Come away with a block shot on the day-to-day, 3 rebounds. Somebody who I think can be and develop into that guy who you're like, all right, I don't know if he's 3 and D because the three ball isn't there just yet. Doesn't take a ton of them. Not can't say that he can never get there, but you know that the defense is already there. Going to the bucket, this kid drives with immense confidence, and I think that that's something that you can hang your hat on if you're the Bulls and you're looking for, okay, who's coming off the bench, who's going to be in this rotation heavily. Julian Phillips to me in 18 minutes, 5 for 8, 62% from the field. Like that's a young man that I think that every time you put him out there, you see production similar to this. Very rarely has Julian Phillips gotten on the NBA floor and looked lost, going all the way back to his time in summer league, right? So I think that this is a young man that you can utilize some. I think you've got a couple of, dare I say, and I'm sorry to say this to all the P. Will fans who are holding out hope, but I think you've got a couple of P. Will replacements on this team, and that may be where the Bulls are looking for, especially, I know they just paid him, but you may be changing the role of what Patrick Williams is doing for the Chicago Bulls team. Right now, he's your starting power forward. Is that going to be the case going forward? Do you put him in at the small forward, which I think could suit him well as well? But he's not going to start at small forward. Is he your backup small in that sense? How does Julian Phillips fit in with that? Is he somebody you can run small ball with Patrick Williams in that scenario? Can you throw Matas out there as well, kind of give you that lengthy lineup that has a little bit of the shooting, has a little bit more of the defense? I think those are the things that you're looking for defensively, by the way. Patrick Williams, it's going to take some time for him to get back. I'm not going to sit here and kill this guy all day today. But it was a bad game. I mean, he was a negative 18 plus minus, had the worst plus minus on the team to start. I know it's coming back from injuries. It's going to take some time. Let's see what he's going to turn into. But there's some guys on this team that are looking at what he's done in his production in the past and what he's coming into this season and saying, hey, we got an opportunity to go get a job out here. Let's get after it. Finishing it out with this, though, I appreciate you guys. If you have not done so, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave the 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're going to be doing this after every Chicago Bulls game. Little quick post-game show. I know you used to seeing me on Locked On Bulls. I know you used to seeing me go live for the games and stuff like that. And we're going to mix some of that in as well. We still have the playback thing, so we may do some watch parties over on playback, maybe do some simulcast where we watch the games over here as well. Specific games. I can't do every game, of course, with the new kid on the way. But very specific games. If that's something that, one of the other guys on the team wants to take up, we may be able to do that as well. But I think here's my thing. Right now, the number one thing that you came into this game wondering was the big acquisition coming out of the offseason. That was Josh Giddey, right? You traded away Alex Caruso. You traded away some draft capital. You bring in Josh Giddey. What does Josh Giddey show you in his first bit of action? He was 5 for 11 from the field. I thought he looked much better driving to the bucket than he did anywhere else on the floor. I thought that he did a good job as far as being that big body, getting out there rebounding. Only 11 points, 7 rebounds, though, in the game. Didn't see as many assists as we would like. But we did see him do a good job of setting up the pass, that kind of the hockey assist, right? He was setting up the pass that gets to the right pass that opens up a bucket for you. That's kind of all you can hope for right now. Again, first game of preseason, you can't take the world away from this. But as far as the Josh Giddey performance goes, do I need more offense from him? Probably, right? You want to see him in that 17 to 20 range scoring the basketball, but it depends on what you're getting offensively out of everybody else on the floor. If you're getting more out of Zach LaVine, if you're getting more out of Vooch, if you're getting more out of P. Will, right, then you can kind of see him being around that scoring that you saw today. This is just getting the legs loose, though. But I do like the vision that we saw out of Giddey. I thought that, keeping the turnovers down was something he struggled with in when he was over in OKC and when he played overseas in the FIBA tournament as well. Now you kind of see more often than not, right? That adjustment, he's been talking about that being made. We got to make this adjustment. We have to go out here and I have to stop turning over the basketball. When he was doing it more, I will say this, and there's a caveat to it, right? The turnovers more so came when he was playing at the 2 in OKC than when he was playing the point in Australia, or playing for Australia, I should say. He was just turning the basketball over, some boneheaded passes that he thought he could fit in there that he struggled with. And you don't want to coach that out of. You want him to take the chances, because if you get that pass through, phenomenal. phenomenal dime, right? That's a bucket. That's what you brought him here for. Be that guy that can dime guys up, but also make sure that you're not overdoing it and you're running the offense the right way. I think we saw that out of Josh Giddey today in his first action. Again, everybody else getting loose. There wasn't a lot of standout in this game. Taylor Horton Tucker looked awful. I guess if anything stands out, right? Taylor Horton Tucker looked awful. Jalen Smith didn't look that great to me either in this game, although I think that you got your Andre Drummond replacement. He was able to come away with 10 rebounds easily. So, double for him, 11 points, 10 rebounds. We were sitting there wondering who's going to be that guy that's going to be able to go out there and replace Andre Drummond's production. Feels like it could be Jalen Smith right now. Maybe not the same level of defender Andre Drummond is around the bucket, but hopefully you get less boneheaded plays where like Andre Drummond in one game is like, I can make a easy finger roll layup. And then in the next game, he's like bringing that mug halfway around, trying to windmill it. And then it just goes straight up in the air and lands nowhere. But no, man, I'm excited about kind of this young Bulls team and seeing kind of how everybody ends up trying to fight for, okay, I'm the number one, I'm the number two. This is where I fit in. This is where you fit in. This is how I'm excited to see kind of how roles are defined on this team. But listen, it's going to be some uphill battles. There's going to be some struggles. This is a game that you're glad the Bulls get the win, but I can see the struggles early on. Let's hope that they clear themselves up as you get yourselves out of preseason and get yourselves into the season. There's a lot more basketball where that came from. But let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. Like I said, after every Bulls game, you probably get about 15, 20 minutes out of me where I just sit here and break down the game real quick, go through it, maybe bring some guests on, all that good stuff. But hey, as always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. See Red Nation. Stand up. Peace.